Hello, everyone. This is Jay Coder back with another stream, and today we're going to be going over HTML layout, and I'm going to over it with you from Visual Studio here. And if you like this kind of content, subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and like this video. And without further ado, let's get started. All right. So I'm going to go over some of the layout tags for you guys. And so we've already went over head. It defines information about the document. Title defines the title of a document. Base defines a default address or a default target for all links on a page. Link defines the relationship between a document and an external resource. Meta defines metadata about an HTML document. Script defines a client side script. And style defines style information for the document. All right. So those are specifically related to layout in HTML. And now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys an example of this on the website here. So I actually have a blank website right now. Let me go ahead and show you guys what that looks like really quick. And so the blank website I have is this. And I'm going to apply a layout so that you guys can see some of this in action. And all right, so it's going to look at like that first. And so next, I'm going to I'm going to use a CSS float layout, and I'm going to go over the examples of that. But first, I'm going to read a little bit about float. CSS float is it is common to do entire web layouts using CSS float property. Float is easy to learn. You just need to remember how the float and clear properties work. Disadvantages: the floating elements are tied to the document flow, which may harm the flexibility. Learn more about the floats on, and you can go ahead and look up more on the float if you want. But I'm going to go ahead and get some sample code so that we can see how that works. Such as, I'm going to go ahead and begin with the styling. And as you can see, I um, don't have any styling in this style tag, and I also turned off the styling sheet. So all of this styling will be applied here. So, all right. So I'm going to do something called box sizing here. And it's going to be applied like so here. All right. And then for the meta, we're actually going to. This is actually okay. We're going to set the initial scaling to 1. And this helps us with our actual responsiveness design when resizing the screen. Okay. And then we're going to apply some more styling. And we're going to apply the font family here to the body. And this essentially sets the font family. Okay. And gonna adjust that a little bit. Okay. So that is the font family. And now let us apply styling to the header. All right. So within the style tag, we're going to apply this header. Uh, we're setting the color, padding, text align, font size, and the color of the text and color of the background. Okay. And next, let us set the nav, which is this is going to be the navigation bar styling of what the navigation bar is going to look like, which is going to be our top bar. All right. And then we are going to style the list inside the menu. Is the list inside the yeah. So we're gonna have that there. All right. And next we're going to have the article. And so that's going to be a part of our layout tag. And yeah, remember we're simply setting up the styling here for our website. And this is going to be the styling of the article section that we will have. And I'll show you how that works later. And then we're going to have the some more styling for this section here. And this is going to be pretty much our side menu. So we're setting that up, which is going to display a table. And then our footer. And that's going to be what's going to be at the bottom there. So we're going to go ahead and set that up with the different styling there, of course. And now this is what we're going to have for um, our responsive layout. So we're going to also add a thing called media. And inside the media is the nav and the article, which this also helps for our responsive design. Okay, so we have that. And that's the end of the styling that we will need. And so the next thing we will do is actually add to our body. So our body's down here, and after the body tag, we have our H1 title. Then after our H1 title, or our H1 header there, I'm going to put a paragraph here. And so this paragraph is going to say that in this example, we have created a header, two column boxes, and a footer. On smaller screens, the columns will stack on top of each other. All right, let us continue. And I'm going to add another paragraph after that paragraph, and it's going to say resize the browser window to see the responsive effect. You will learn more about this in later chapters and or tutorials that I will come out with. So we can go ahead and have it like that. And then let's go ahead and add a thing called header, and it's not the heading, it's the header. And with the header, we can actually add that part to the top of the page, and we're going to call this cities. Okay. And then after that, we're going to add, we're going to make this an H2. H2. And then after that, we're going to add the section. And inside the section, we're going to include the city name and information. So that's going to be after our header. And in this section, we'll have London, Paris, Tokyo. And then we'll have in this article information about the city. Right now, it's going to be a static information, but you'll see the point of this in just a moment. And then finally, we will add the footer. All right. Then I'll add a little paragraph right there that actually says footer. So we have crafted a basic HTML website layout from scratch, 100% coded by us. And let's go ahead and check out how that looks. Okay, so we have our website layout here, and we have the header there, and the menu section there, and the city information here, and the footer down here. All right. So, and we can resize the page and see what happens here. So, when you resize it, they stack on top of each other like so. So, all right, that's looking good so far. And so that's like a layout that you guys can perform for your web pages. And all right. And so after that, you know, the footer, you have the footer, and then we have the body. Then we don't need this script. That's a breakpoint. All right. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys one more example, kind of modifying our current example. And this example will use CSS Flexbox layout. So let's see what we need to do to modify our code to use CSS layout Flexbox. So in order to do this, this stays the same. That stays the same. This stays the same. And then after header, we're actually going to add a section, and it's going to be the web. Well, you'll see the syntax once we add it here. So we're adding it after the header. And this is going to be what what we need to add in order to what we need to it's what we need to add in order to facilitate the CSS layout flexbox method. And so we're going to put that there. And then instead of these things inside the nav, we're going to actually change it to this. And that is the next thing we have to do for our little setup. And you notice that we have the WebKit dash flex here and the MS dash flex. And also for nav URL, we keep the same. For articles, we're going to actually change that to actually use this. All right. And so these are the necessary things that we need to do in our sections here in the styling in order to set it up for Flexbox. And then after that, we no longer need this guy anymore. And then we will keep the footer the same. Then after that, inside the media, we will change that to um, be the section instead of the nav and article because we took care of that kind of thing already. So we're going to go ahead and add here the section. And then after that, what we're going to do is inside the body, we are going to say that these things, which, all right, we're going to go ahead and say these things here. And it's in this example, we ever created a header, 2 columns slash boxes, and a footer on smaller screens. The column will stack on top of each other, so that will be the same. Resize the browser window to see the response effect. All right, so that's going to be similar. And then we're going to go ahead and have the cities inside the header thing here. And then we're going to have inside the section that's going to actually be the same as well. And then inside the article part, that should be the same as well. And all right, we should have our successful conversion to the layout flexbox. So let me go ahead and save that. And let's see how this looks. All right. So this is how it looks. And we converted the actual layout from float layout to flexbox layout. And again, we should be able to resize our window here. Let me see. Should be able to resize our window like so. And they stack on top of each other. So those were 2 ways to implement the same thing. And thirdly, you can also use CSS grid layout. And I encourage you guys to go and study those layouts, which is CSS float layout and CSS flexbox layout. And thirdly, CSS grid layout. And you can essentially use these to execute what we just did in the tutorial today. And that's what I wanted to show you guys today. Play around with this layout and see what you can produce. And if you like this content, subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment, and until next time, always stay coding and peace.